indeed keep turning. Welcome, happy Thursday. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy, and you are tuned in to LoveBabz LoveTalk. One of my favorite people and one of the most beautiful people on the planet is my guest today. Hello, Karissa Van Tassel.
Good morning, Babz. How are you today?
How are you? Noted award-winning photographer and my Paris accomplice.
You know, you give the best introductions of anyone ever. It is a sleepy, rainy day, and we have this great music, and you give this introduction.
How are you? You look amazing.
Well, thank you.
You look great. You don't look quarantined at all.
Oh, trust me, I'm quarantined. Well, look at you. You've got, once again, got the bling going on in your glasses, some beautiful sparkly earrings.
Listen, you know, I don't wear much makeup these days. The older I get, the less makeup I wear unless I'm doing somebody's photo shoot. So I need all the help I can get. Sparkly, sparkly takes away from no makeup.
You are full of it. You need no sparkle. You are all sparkle, baby.
Woo, woo. So how are you? How are the kids? First of all, let's get the kid thing out the way. How are they? How are they holed up?
They're good. So I've got, 3 kids. One will be a teenager in 2 weeks, less than that. And then I'll
really?
3 teenagers in the house. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So they're older is why I say that, because I know lots of people that have little ones at home that are struggling.
Girl.
If I had a 3-year-old, that would be tough. But that said, they're old enough that they're kind of on their own. Their teachers have been amazing, moving classes online. So they're kind of hanging out and getting work done and they all play sports. So trying to keep their bodies in shape.
Mm-hmm.
My backyard looks like a bomb hit it. It is a mud pit because of all the cleats running around back there.
Oh.
But if that's the worst, I'm okay with that.
That's all right. Listen, as long, they're big, like you said, you don't have to color with them. You don't have to, unless you want to. But you don't have to think of stuff for them. They can coordinate their own activities and fun.
Exactly. And honestly, I've been saying, and it's true most of the time, but that if the very worst, we're so blessed and so lucky that the worst for us will hopefully be having to stay in a place we love, our house, with the people we love most.
Yes.
I can do that.
Yes. I'm kind of doing that.
And most of the time, I'm okay with that. Every once in a while, I'm like, let me out.
Now, is Paul quarantined too, or does he have to go somewhere?
No, Yale is closed. So he is here. He had a lab class. So, you're supposed to actually be doing experiments. The kids are. They're not really kids. How do you do that online, right? So that was a bit of a challenge. But they did. And, he had a tech person step in and help him. And he now is a pro at Zoom calls. He does these. They have pre-recorded videos that they intersperse. He has an iPad that he, draws out equations and stuff on, and you screen shares into the Zoom. It's really amazing.
Wow. I'm telling you, this is a whole new world, Karissa.
It is. Where do you think we come out of it on the other side, though? I don't think we go back to day-to-day normal.
No, I think something else comes out of this. I think this is integrated into some of what we used to do, but I think this stays with us because now that people have mastered this medium, and you can talk to people and gather people without flying across the country, without, traveling.
And you really feel like you engage with people when you see them on video.
Yeah.
We've been doing kind of weekly video calls with my extended family, and it's so much fun. And you really do kind of connect in a way that we actually didn't before.
Yeah. So I don't know what this will mean. I mean, people will want to go and travel again, of course, but I think not for the reasons that we used to travel for. I think people will travel for their own personal, just because I want to go see something in the world, not because I necessarily got to go spend time with my family.
Yeah, not a checkbox.
Much. I could see my family and check on them without having to be there for long periods of time.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think the travel industry is going to morph significantly out of this.
Yes, and rightly so, because, the airlines have been janky with us for quite some time, charging for things and treating us unfairly. And So I think this is a wake-up call for them too, that now they're going to have to woo people back,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
And
and show everybody, be more transparent about how they clean the planes.
yeah,
And how even I saw a video the other day about how the air flows through the planes, and
yeah,
that, it doesn't flow across it, in some systems, it doesn't flow across the seats to spread it. It kind of flows down to the ground and then gets recycled and but I think people are going to want to know, like, how are you taking care of me on this flight?
yeah, yeah. And so they want to, and the airlines that get it will do a better job of wooing back customers, saying
Yeah.
this is what we are going to give you for your hard-earned dollars. And and people will respond accordingly.
Yeah.
They'll
It's
no longer be able to just jam people in an airplane.
right. Which is interesting because before this, had you seen the models of what they were drawing for the airplanes of the future, where people even were standing up? I mean, it was like a bus, right? And crowded
Yes.
together. Like, I think that's
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I think they could give that up because
Did you see
the
that
airlines are taking it.
JetBlue said yesterday that they're now going to, it kind of amazed me that they were the first to do this, but apparently they were, to start requiring people to wear masks.
Yeah,
And they should.
I don't blame them.
Yep.
I don't blame. So, how's the photography life? Because I've seen you online teaching classes or workshops or tips. What are you doing? I see you doing something.
Well, I mean, so it's funny, right? Like, I do what I love, or what I do, because I love working with people, right? And I love the honor of telling their stories. And so you come to this screeching halt when you can't be with people anymore. And at first it was like, okay, so I will work on marketing stuff. I'll work on my website. I'll, da da da. And you can do that for a little while. And then, like, the soul starts to drop out of what you're doing because you're not connecting with people. So it got me thinking about other ways that photography can play an important part of my clients' lives. And so one of the ways that people had to ask me from time to time was working on their cell phone pictures. Everybody that you talk to, if anyone right now listening opens up their phone to see how many pictures they have, it will be in the thousands. Some up to 20,000 pictures. I had, when I started this, 22,000 pictures
Whoa!
on my phone and in the cloud. But, like, I mean, that's an insane number of pictures. And the hard part about that, or the bad part about that, really, is that the really special moments get lost in the midst of everything that's not. Right. So there's a
Yeah.
screenshot of this story that I, wanted to remember to go back to. Or, like, there's the burst of 10 pictures when I really just wanted one. Everybody has those. And so if you start going back through those and deleting all of those other ones out, then you're actually left with the memories you love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fun process to go through, right? When you go through it, then you're going back through your memories and, like, oh gosh, how is that person? I haven't talked to them in forever. Or, oh my, that was such a fun night. And so you get to relive those experiences a little bit as you go through it. So it's not like it's this torturous experience. But still, you look at that number of 22,000 and it is daunting, right?
Yes.
You think, okay, I will sit here for the next month and not get through those.
I started doing that. I started with looking at my Paris pictures. Because
okay,
good. That I would be going to Paris.
Okay, don't read those out. No, I'm kidding. I might be biased though.
No, those were the days. This time last year, we were getting ready to go.
Exactly. I know. I was thinking about that yesterday.
And I was looking at the pictures of me and Paul in the Paris airport. Well, we were in the New York airport together. I took pictures of that.
Do people know, like, I mean, that's, so Babz and my husband went to Paris together, but not together. It was the strangest, because a little over a year ago, I was on the show and you'd never been to Paris. And that was like, remember the Get Babz to Paris hashtag came out of that show. And we talked about it and what you would do. And then you went.
And then I went, I planned and I went for my birthday. And come to find out, her husband, Paul, was on the same flight as I, unbeknownst to either one of us.
It was, I mean, that I've never had that experience, right?
I loved it because he was such a, sometimes, honestly, sometimes to have the company of a man is reassuring.
Yep. And
To
he knows
travel with a
Paris
man.
like the back of his hand.
Oh my God. And he was a joy to like bring me to my hotel, make sure I got checked in. And then he took me for dinner for my birthday. So to be in Paris, the city of lights and romance, with a handsome man on my birthday for dinner, I could not have asked for a better present.
That's amazing. I wish I could have been there. That would have been so much fun. But I'm so glad that you guys got to go out together.
So thank you for the sharing of your husband for that very romantic dinner. It was just a beautiful, beautiful moment. I don't think I could have asked for a better birthday. Seriously,
Oh,
seriously, a better birthday. So I was going through all the pictures of us,
yeah.
like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my
Isn't it fun? Like when you actually sit down to start doing it, like time just kind of fades away, which at the moment, let time fade away.
God. Yes,
And you just kind of go through them and find again those special memories.
yes, because I have Google Photos or whatever. Because my phone only allowed me like 500 pictures or some old mess
Right.
before it starts eating up
And
space.
obviously that's not okay.
So I just moved them to the Google photo thing,
Right.
and that's where they live, right? And it's still on my phone, but it
That's
lives.
where they live, but it's also where they die because no one
Yes,
ever goes back. Right. I mean, so one of the taglines of my studio is memories should fill your life, not your hard drive.
yes, I
And
know.
I believe that so passionately, that the special memories, the special times that we have all together, or even just that beautiful sunset, those are the things we should have around us.
Yes,
But they get lost in the midst of those screenshots and bursts and everything else. And so culling it back to those special memories, and then there are a million ways to print them,
and I
right?
think you're right to tell us because I think people don't know, and I think you're right. People are daunted when they see the number, and they're like, "Oh, I'm
Well,
never,
obviously I can't do that.
I'm never gonna
Yeah.
see these pictures again."
So yeah, so I started doing these little video tutorials on how to kind of call back and what to hang on to and what to delete out. And it's been fun. It's been fun to see what people are finding on their phones that they didn't remember was there. Sometimes people have like an old photograph. They've just taken a shot on their cell phone of the old
Yeah,
photograph. So you come across these things that you don't think about the fact that they're on your phone. And then
yeah.
once you have them, then you can, yeah, print them on a pair of socks if you want, but just print those special things so that you get reminded of them as you go through your day.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, maybe
But
not
that's
on
the
your
fun.
socks, but you know.
But I kind of liked that. I was like, on my sock. But you can make calendars for people for the holidays and send to your loved ones. And
And
if you don't,
honestly, okay, I'm totally biased, obviously, but there's no better gift than the gift of a memory, right?
yes,
I mean, that's why, like, I mean, I've heard recently that they're talking about giving experiences to people instead of like an actual sweater or something, right? And I
mhm,
think it's so true. There's really nothing more meaningful than those connections we have with people. And so giving experiences is a beautiful gift that's priceless. And then if
yeah,
you can then give a picture of an experience that brings them back to that moment, like what more would you want?
exactly. Particularly if I was looking back at my children growing up, and they were so cute. And you forget how cute they are because
I
they're all
know.
grown up now. And then you go back and look, and
Absolutely.
you're like, oh my God, they were so little. They were so small and cute, and
And
so
keeping those pictures, because again, you keep taking pictures, right? So that's why
yes,
you forget. But when you go back and look, it's like, or I remember that moment. I remember that time we went to McDonald's and, the ice cream was all over the face, whatever it is. But though, I mean, they make you smile, they make you happy. Those should be the pictures we have on our walls.
yes. And I am going to call my pictures and do I'm following along. I'm going to do just exactly what you said. So as a small business owner, Karissa, because you are a small business owner,
Mhm.
and I've been talking to a lot of artists slash business owners
Yeah.
since I've been back on air. What is your take on all of this? How do you maintain your business and your artistic edge, and uh, 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 continue to let people know that you are still doing what you do, or kind of doing what you're doing.
Well, I think, in some ways, it's been the most difficult time to have a small business that I can remember. In other ways, it's been a really incredible opportunity. So I think it's kind of, both sides are equally true. So depending on the day, it's how you decide to look at it that day. Obviously, I can't work, right? I can't physically go out and photograph people. And that is both sad to me and a serious loss of income. And thankfully my husband works, so it's not like we've lost all our income, but some families have. And I can't fathom how difficult that would be. Especially when someone else has come in and told you to shut down. On the flip side of that, there are a lot of opportunities to be more creative for me, I shouldn't speak for everybody, but when you're not worried about the business side of it, it's just the creative side. So for me, I've started going back through old photographs and re-editing them, working on new editing techniques, studying from different photographers that I probably wouldn't have taken the time to study from otherwise, because their courses are online. I've also, like I said, been reaching out to clients and trying to find ways to help them. So helping them cull their photographs. I'm also coming up with a list of photographs you should be taking right now, so that when people go back and look at this experience, how do you illustrate that story for your experience, your family? So I think
I love that.
Well, it forces you to think outside of the box that you were in with your business, in ways that can be really spectacular. A good friend of mine, I don't know if you know the artist Susan Clinard, has created some of the most stunning pieces of art coming out of this. Do you know who she is?
No, I don't think I do.
You should. I'll send a link to her page. She has this gorgeous piece that's physicians and nurses. It's kind of pyramid shaped, that are watching over beds of patients around them. And it's just hauntingly beautiful. But that's something, that's work that's coming specifically out of this experience for people, and especially for artists. I think when you're forced into kind of this quarantine, you kind of start producing work that you didn't even know you had in you.
Yes.
Which
I'm hearing that from my other artist friends.
Yeah. And that's spectacular. I think we're going to get so much richness out of this at the end, not in any way to detract from, the horrific situation we're in and how difficult this is for so many. But I think you kind of have to focus on the positive sometime too. And I think that's a definite positive. Someone pointed out the other day, imagine a quarantine without the arts. Imagine a quarantine.
I was on a call yesterday about that with legislators.
Yeah, without art, without music, without photography, without paint, without, without movies. How many people have been sitting there watching Netflix for the past 6 weeks? Imagine. We are so lucky to have such a rich culture of that. And I think it's that too that points to why we support the arts in the first place. It kind of filters into life in these subtle ways as you go through. But then when the world comes to a full stop, that's kind of what we have at home to kind of connect with people and to connect with stories. So it's
I think you're right. I was on a call yesterday with state legislators, hosted by the Arts Council, which I'm a board member of, and they had artists, art-serving organizations, and legislative bodies on to talk about how to make sure that the arts do not get left behind in all this economic up and down. And so the point was made that in these stressful times, what do people do? People turn toward art to sort of find solace and peace and a way to sort of hold on because this has been such a stressful time, and nothing better than arts soothes people's hearts and minds and souls around adversity. And so, and I think the legislators needed to hear that people took to the arts in these difficult moments to sort of find some common ground and solid footing, because
Absolutely.
this has been hard. I mean, this has been very,
And
very
it's not
hard.
just artists that are connecting with art, right? I mean,
Right.
everyday people are going and finding that old watercolor set and painting or writing stories and which they didn't have time to write otherwise. I mean, I think that's what we do as a form of personal expression, but oftentimes life gets so busy that you just set that to a side and don't try, make it a priority.
Wow. So, Karissa, will this, and I'm sure I know the answer, kind of, does this whole pandemic experience change you as an artist moving forward so that when you get to go back into your studio, when you get to photograph people up close and personal again, will you see them differently? Will some other image of them, uh, uh, would you be able to capture something that you would have missed had you not had this experience?
Absolutely. I don't think you can come out of something like this. Maybe you can without a profound change. Um, and for me personally, what I miss the most, and it's kind of informed where I want to go from here, are people's stories. And often when people come in, so I do a lot of portrait work. And oftentimes when people come in, they'll come in for a headshot. And so we talk through what they're looking for in a headshot. Do they need a horizontal? Do they need a vertical? Do they need a specific backdrop? That kind of thing. And talk through their profession and what it needs to communicate. Um, but to be honest, what I'm looking forward to is taking those clients and saying, okay, what story do you want to tell right now? And we can capture your headshots, but let's also capture the rest of you. Let's just illustrate your story right now. We'll get the headshot pictures, don't worry. But we're also like, do you want to be photographed as a mom? Do you want to be photographed as a wife? Do you want to be photographed in like a white sheet kind of sexy boudoir session? Like what else can we capture while we're here that tells your story more than just this one facet of your life, your professional life? It's easy to kind of do what people tell you they need without opening the door to the possibilities for clients. And I think I missed that sometimes in the past. I don't think I will moving forward.
That's very interesting. I kind of like that thought, because I would imagine when people go to a photographer, they have an idea what they want. Sometimes they're very specific, and sometimes they're like me, like whatever.
Just do what you
Take
do.
whatever picture you think looks good. And then here you come as an artist saying, how about this? Let's try this. How about consider this? And really, what you're asking people to do is to step outside of their comfort zone and
Absolutely.
trust you to, not make them look terrible. Because
And
that's
that's
people
hard
fear.
for people. It's even harder if they don't know what the possibilities are, right? If you say, what else can we capture? They're like, no, I just need a headshot. So I think you've got to find ways to illustrate that for them and open the possibilities to them so they can say, well, let's do this too, because it's a huge step forward in them. They have to trust me with their story. And that's a lot for people, depending on what your story is and where you are in it. But gosh, when they do, it is the most beautiful experience for us both.
Mhm. So have you been over to your studio a few times?
I have
No.
been fully quarantined apart from 2 walks around the neighborhood and 1 walk around Rice Field for 6 weeks.
Oh yes, so you are. You are fit to be tied. Oh my gosh, I because I have friends who have salons and business, standalone businesses,
Mhm.
and they've
Gone
tiptoed in
in.
and watered the plants, that kind of thing, and sat in their space by themselves and just like looked around and or they've took some pictures in there and showed everybody I was in my space today. So I would have just I was imagining that you would have climbed all those stairs and would have popped in.
I've been longing to be in there. The hard part is, like, I'm telling my kids and husband, right? You can't go because you're exposing yourself to all these people. And my studio, as you know, is in a larger complex of Erector
Yes.
Square. So there are public spaces, enclosed public spaces that you're going in when you do that. And it's hard to say it's worth the risk right now where we've been. I think as we move towards everyone wearing face masks, then,
Mhm.
that comfort level will start to change, which I can't wait. I've also thought about just going in and bringing my lights and everything here, because it seems like it might be a while before people are comfortable being in an enclosed space. But like, I could shoot in my backyard. I'll just bring lights and backdrops here. And we could do that, so I'm trying to think of, trying to see what the restrictions might be once we're able to reopen.
Mhm.
And then trying to figure out how I can work within those to keep photographing people.
Yes. I mean, I can imagine because I think people's wedding plans have changed and announcements have changed and graduations have changed. And, there's so many things that the traditional things that you would hire a photographer for has changed dramatically.
Dramatically. Yeah.
You know.
I know,
Uh,
I feel so bad for the wedding photographers who've just full stop,
mhm.
and
Shoot weddings? I don't think, do
I
you shoot weddings?
I used to do weddings. Now I
Okay.
really focus on portraits because it allows me to have the time with my family that I want while they're
Mhm.
getting older. Because otherwise, it's mostly weekends, and that's when my kids are playing their sports and that kind of thing. So I used to.
Yes, I understand. Okay, because you have a beautiful eye, and I bet you would capture a wedding beautifully. So
It's
that's
so
why.
much fun. I mean, it's such an honor, but to be in the midst of all of that energy and everybody's happy, and I mean, there's such a rush from doing that. But yeah, but at some point, like, I mean, I have a junior in high school, right? We've got one more year of having him here, and then he grows up and
Wherever.
moves out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want
Yes.
to take
Woo.
advantage of that while I can.
Mhm. So, your family, you all go to Paris at least once a year or so for extended
We
periods of time.
try.
And so, I mean, I don't know what that'll look like for you this year, but you and I have talked about this, since all this has gone down. How are you feeling about that? And because you are a woman from Paris, just like I am, but you more so than just about anybody I know.
I was writing something the other day and I said I went to Paris for the first time in 1996 and I never really left. Right? Like, you don't really, not that's not true of everybody, but like for me, it just became part of who I am.
Yeah.
Um, so it is we have friends there, we have, places we usually go and stay, and it's just an integrated part of our life as a couple and now our life as a family too. So it's sad to not be there. At the same time, being there right now wouldn't be like being there, right? I mean,
Yeah,
everything's
because
on
they're
lockdown.
locked down too. Yeah.
Yeah, and more seriously, I mean, you have to have a form that allows you to be out on the street, and if you don't have that, it's a massive fine. I don't remember exactly how much, but like, I'm going to make this up, but like 500 € or something like that if you aren't allowed to be on the street when you are. So it wouldn't really be like being there.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's really an incredible moment when the whole world decided to go home.
Yeah.
That everybody, wherever you are in the world right now, is in this together is really an extraordinary experience when you step back and think about it. I mean, everyone's seeing the reports of like there was a kangaroo a couple of weeks ago, like just jumping away through Sydney, right? Because why not? Right? Like that Mother Nature kind of seems to kind of grow back over and kind of take over the space that
Yes.
was hers in the first place. And it's kind of incredible to watch. And when you realize the global scale that that's happening on, I mean,
Have you seen how much air pollution has gotten cleaned
exactly.
and atmosphere is clear and grass is growing in places and the animals are reproducing and running as if there are no like as if they weren't, encroached upon. It's
Right.
amazing.
It's really beautiful. Again, there's so much horrible about this story, but there's a lot that's beautiful too. And it's kind of like Mother Nature just hit a giant reset button. Um,
Yes.
and it won't last forever, but it's really
No.
beautiful to see how it's kind of reset.
And
So
the
I think,
oceans are itself. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
it is. It's amazing. And to know that we're all in this together, if that means that I don't go to Paris this year, that means I don't go to Paris this.
Yeah. I mean,
But it is
Paris.
sad because it's kind of the balance. Usually it's the balance to life here for me. That when you're there, it's I'd say life here is more time is money, right? And there for me, time is quality, right? It's about it's a very romantic life. I use my senses so much more. You stop and take the time to breathe it all in.
Yes.
Even in the shops, like the storekeepers take the time to really know their products and their merchandise, and they love what they have to sell, right? It's not like, well, that's an aisle 10. They will show you, and they will show you its qualities, and they will gift wrap it for you beautifully. It's
Oh
just
my God. Yes.
an attention to detail that's really, really beautiful to witness. And so it's kind of the balance to me to life here. But life here isn't life here right now. So
No, it's not. But I mean, it's, as I was, I've been, as I've been talking to artists, there's a lot of silver linings to this pandemic. Even I mean, but that's true of just about any adversity. There's
but you
always
have to look for it.
there's silver linings just about any and everything. We just have to look up or look wherever. Um, and this pandemic is no different. People are connecting with one another.
Mhm.
Um, People are starting to understand the value of connectivity with family and friends becoming not just an aside, but really front and center in people's lives. That people are starting to understand that their friendships are really the glue that makes their lives meaningful and joyous.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that more and more and more as I see people reach out to their networks and their friendships and
Isn't
embrace
it
that. And
beautiful?
oh man, as somebody who lives that way already, I think I was saying this to a friend of mine. The world is catching up to how I've always been thinking
That's pretty awesome.
of how I like to be connected to people and how
No,
I
at
like to
the end of
spend
the
time.
day, I think it's all about the connections, the
Yes.
connections we have with people, whether it's friends or family, and the experiences that we share with those people.
Mhm, mhm.
So how do
And
you
so,
maximize that?
no, go ahead.
No, I was just
So
saying, so how do you maximize that? I mean, Zoom has been this incredible tool that like no one saw coming.
I know.
Like, had you heard of Zoom before all this happened? No. And now it's like, it's a verb. Like I've never seen a word become a verb faster in society than Zoom did. Are you Zooming? Did you Zoom them?
I do Skype, right? We do
Yeah.
Skype, Facebook Live, even on Messenger, Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
My squad, we get together and we have a happy hour every Friday night to check in with each other
That's
on
awesome.
Messenger, where we do just this kind of thing. We can see each other and talk to each other. But Zoom, man, you know, people, I can't. I feel, Carissa, I almost feel like I'm busier now than I was in my other life, right? Like people seem to stack these Zoom meetings one after the
Isn't
other.
it incredible? Like our poor little Wi-Fi in the house, right? We've got 5 people in our house, and the number of Zoom calls we have going on at any given time is kind of amazing.
I know. I think I was telling Harry. I think I need the Wi-Fi extender because the router is in my bedroom, which is at the back of the house. And I'm camped in my dining room, which there was no thought to putting it, just the computer just happened here. It wasn't thought out. And so I'm like, I'm a little further from the router than I want to be. So sometimes the Wi-Fi jumps in and out.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm not close enough to it. So there's things that you can buy to bring the Wi-Fi closer. I was like, really? So yes, I'm on the
Yeah,
hunt
we
for that.
have extenders in this house. Like at this moment, there's an AP US history class going on in the first floor.
Oh, then you could text me some good Wi-Fi extenders to purchase, because I do need one.
Yeah, no, the struggle is real.
Oh yeah, because you have kids who have to do their schoolwork. School
Yeah,
still
exactly.
is,
So
right?
we'll have like classes going on in 2 bedrooms, and my husband's lecturing in another room, and I'm meeting with clients in my room. It's like, it's kind of amazing. But then we all pause and we have lunch together, right? I mean, how often do we have lunch together?
Never, not during
Yeah.
the school year, right?
No. And even family dinners. My kids would be at, practices till 8:30. They get home at 9. So we were starting to eat dinner at 9 some nights, just so we would have family time together. Well, now we've had 6 weeks together, right? And yeah, there are times that everyone's like ready to, but for the most part, it's been really fun. Like one of my kids the other night said, "Can we play a game?" Yes. Yes, we can play a game, right? We've been watching more movies. We've been, just spending time together. And at the end of the day, I hope that I look back at all this and say, wow, that was actually kind of a gift.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will.
Yeah.
I think a lot. I mean, once you get past the anxiety of people not having a job and not having money, and where's money going to come from, there is something quite special and extraordinary about spending this amount of time with your children and your loved ones. I personally am grateful that my children are grown up, but Khalil is here and Margot is here, and it's not really like they're grown up.
No, they're back at mom's house.
And Gregory slides over periodically, and we talk to Brianna almost daily. So
Well, that's
so
pretty cool. I didn't realize all that was going on.
yeah, so I sense that they crave connectedness too, because I moved while Khalil was in Maine, so he hadn't experienced this new space.
Right.
But for them, I think it doesn't matter the space; it's wherever I am that they feel like that's home.
Yeah.
If I had a yurt somewhere in the field, I think they would be like, okay, if mom is there, that's where home is.
That means you raised them right. I wonder if my kids would be open to a yurt. I'm not sure.
My kids know that I walk a thin line of insanity, so they're like, okay, mom is in. Okay, mom's brand experiment. Let's just all go along with it. So it's been nice to sort of spend time with him, to have him home, because the last time he was here, it was a very difficult relationship, and it was very stressful. And so it's nice to come back around and to have him here and enjoy his company, and enjoy seeing him and talking to him. So and
That's
and
kind
then
of
that's
amazing.
send him back on.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Back into the world, back to Maine.
So speaking of back to the world, it's almost your birthday, right?
Yes, Saturday. I don't have a plan. Like
Okay. Well, I planned a little bit.
Oh my gosh!
Happy birthday. Okay, they say sweet 16 because I didn't have any that just said happy birthday, but happy birthday, Babz.
Thank you. I love you, Karissa Van Tassel. You are amazing. Yes, my birthday.
Orange juice, by the way.
For the first time in a long time, I don't have a plan because there's no plan to have. It's like, all right.
There's so many cool things people are doing right now. One of my daughter's friends had a birthday last week, and so everyone did like a drive or walk by.
I'm hoping that people might do that. I may suggest that to people. Like, Just drive by my house and yell at me. I'll be
Yeah,
on the porch.
exactly. Put a sign on your door that says honk, it's my birthday.
Yeah, the weather will be good. It's like 70, it'll be 77 degrees. So I'll be on the porch.
That's kind of
Drive
awesome.
by and blow and say, hey, Babz.
Exactly.
I'll suggest that on Facebook today. It's like, drive by and say hi.
Drive by. We'll have a super mini party.
Yeah, we'll have a porch party, kind of. Like, yeah, porch party, kind of. So, yeah. So I think this is probably why I wanted to have you on, because you're so much a part of this time of the year for me. Because of that. And because, you took those beautiful photos of me when I had shaved my head. And so
I love those photographs so much.
And that was a year ago too. Like that was, that surgery was a year ago. My bald head was a year ago. I mean, all that was last year. And so it just feels, I'm still here this year, very much present and alive. And so
you
it's
look
not lost
so
on me.
graceful and so powerful in those photographs.
Well, that's because you took them.
No, that's because you are.
Listen.
I mean, that's what I mean. Like that was very, very brave of you to come in and say, here I am, let's do this.
Let's do it. I wanted to capture that moment because I don't, in those moments, you don't know what'll happen to you. So I just wanted to like, okay, I want some really nice pictures in case things go awry.
You were amazing.
Well, I appreciate it. It was such a wonderful experience. Everyone should have time with a photographer like that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you don't often people don't think about doing that until they need something. Like we were saying about the headshots or something, or if there's a special date, they turned 50, they turned 60, whatever, but they need kind of an impetus, it seems, to get in the door. But you shouldn't have to have that. Sometimes it's just time to stop life and say, I want to capture this now.
Yes. Before anything.
Before it changes. And it always changes.
Before it changes.
I've captured people that the mom called and said, my daughter lost her first tooth the very next week. I'm so glad we did, I mean, that kind of thing. Or, you capture this extended family and grandpa's no longer here. I mean, you just don't know. You don't know what the future is. And if there's anything we've learned from all of this pandemic, you don't know what the future will hold. So I think taking the time to stop, even if it's just with your own iPhone and saying, capturing this moment, is so important.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think because our phones are so much a part of our lives, I mean, we do everything with these phones, right? I mean, if I leave my phone at home, I feel underdressed, naked, and lost.
Isn't it true? It's so sad, but it's so true.
And I actually have come back to my house to get my phone on my way to someplace. I was like, oh no, because I don't know what happens after this or in front of that. I need it. So
yeah.
So I know how people can take a lot of pictures, as somebody who takes a lot of pictures, and have them sit in your camera. I think people will be relieved to know that, yes, you are capable of taking these out and doing something with them.
Absolutely. It is not hard at all. And it's so much fun to go back through them, and relive all of those little experiences. Nothing like a photograph to bring you back to that moment.
Yes. Yes. It has been such a pleasure talking to you, Karissa.
As always, thank you, Babz. It's so much fun to hear your voice and that laughter. I miss it.
I can't wait till we can go for cocktails.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Oh,
I know.
That sounds lovely.
I need a taste of a good cocktail. Like not one that I make, but one that somebody makes for me and serves it to me.
The serving thing is key. Like to just be able to sit there and have someone else bring it to you is such a luxury we've all or at least I've totally underappreciated.
Oh my God. I can't wait to sit in somebody's restaurant or bar, or I am a woman for that kind of life. And I miss it terribly, and so I cannot wait. And I don't care. It could be a dive or it could be the Four Seas. I don't care. I want
Exactly.
it.
It doesn't
You know
matter.
what
Just
I
let
mean?
me
Like,
in.
somebody bring me a meal. Somebody bring me a drink.
Exactly. Oh, please.
I'll be like, I'll be so appreciative, right? So appreciative. So
I
yes,
know.
so this will end at some point. We will create some new normal for ourselves, and we will.
And maybe the normal will even be a little better than the old normal.
I hope so. I hope so. I don't think we can go back to what it was. I think people have really appreciated the slowing down,
Mhm.
you know, and this is really slowing down and smelling the roses. So
Absolutely.
thank you, Karissa Van Tassel.
What a pleasure to see your sparkle
Nice to see you too. You look
and hear
beautiful.
your
You
sparkle.
always are beautiful. One of the most beautiful people on the planet, honestly. So
You are so sweet. And
thank you.
have an absolutely spectacular birthday.
Thank you. Cheers,
Yes.
my love.
Cheers.
And say hello to everybody at your house for
I
me.
will do that. And you too. I didn't know you had a full house.
Well, it's 2, feels like 22. So, you know. So
That's
thank you.
awesome, though. Enjoy that time.
I will. I am. I really am. It's nice to see them grow. So, Harry, we're on our way out. Play me out, my love. Krista, I will see you soon.
Sounds great. Take care.